Alright guys, the brand new season 5 update is finally here, and with this update comes new buffs and nerfs for these weapons, and that is why I am going to create a top 5 list of the best weapons to use for this current season. Now I will be making separate videos on these guns very soon, but without further ado, I hope you guys do enjoy this video. Huge shout out to CODM for sponsoring today's video, and let's get on with the action. Alright guys, so before we get on with the actual top 5 list, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys 2 guns that I think deserve to be in this as an honorable mention for season 5. And starting off with number 1, we do have the LK24. Now me personally, I thought this was going to be a top 5 gun, but unfortunately it's not. After talking to the Path, he said that since the weapon is still a 4-shot AR, it isn't really that great because other weapons can basically 3-shot like the Kilo. But that does not take away from the fact that this is still a viable weapon that you guys potentially could use against other top 5 weapons. And now that we mentioned that, here is the setup that I use up on the screen right now. I was going to be putting up on the screen. You guys can feel free to take a screenshot. I'm not going to be repeating it. So that is honorable mention number 1. Going into honorable mention number 2, we have the GKS. Now me personally, I think that this is a very good SMG, and the buff that it's received this season, which is basically the range, it got adjusted, the damage also got adjusted, and the damage multiplied to the head, upper chest, and arms also got increased, which makes it a 3-shot SMG. Now I know what you guys are thinking, 3-shot SMG, that means it's a top 5 weapon, but that is not the case because of the fire rate. Now you guys could use another SMG such as the MAC-10 or CBR, and the weapon itself with the fast fire rate is going to be far better than a 3-shot SMG. Plus you guys also remember that the flinch for these weapons are pretty high. So here up on the screen right now, I do have my setup. Feel free to use it. I do have a video on the GKS coming soon. Now that we're done with the honorable mentions, we can talk about the top 5 weapons. And starting off at number 5, we do have the AK-117, which is personally one of my most favorite weapons to use when it comes to an AR. You guys know me, I actually used the AK-117 a lot, especially when it was during the QXR meta. And with this buff, they basically increased the range, the damage got increased, the damage multiplied to the chest and lower arms also got increased, which is the main part of this weapon, which makes it top 5. And obviously the reload speed got reduced, but that's not really that important because they also added a reload animation, which isn't really that important either. It does look sick though, but I do kind of miss the old one. Now up on the screen right now, it is my build. I am going to be making a lot of AK-117 builds and videos itself in the future, so get ready for that. These are just one of them. And now that you're done with number 5, let's get on with number 4. Now up on number 4, we do have the Kilo. Now with the Kilo, it's been a meta weapon for a while now. It is a very good AR, and although it did receive a nerf from last season, it still feels the same. The only thing that they nerfed is the damage multiplier to the head, which makes it a lower chance of getting a 3-shot kill from the further ranges. But even though that's the case, the weapon is still good. A lot of people use this in comp, and I actually do have 2 builds for this, but this is the main one I use right now. It is on the screen. You guys can feel free to use this. It is a very good lane holding weapon, and it's also really good for close to mid range if you do have hip fire abilities. You guys can also ADS, but let's be real, if you go up against a MAC-10 against a Kilo in close range, you're most likely not going to win that battle. Alright guys, so up on number 3, we do have the MAC-10. Now, although it got a nerf that basically reduced its overall damage, the weapon is still probably one of the best SMGs to use when it comes to close and maybe even mid-range, depending on how you build it out. Now, me personally, I'm still going to be using this weapon, especially when it comes to those close quarter maps such as Standoff, a Shoot House, or even Summit, which I love using. But there is going to be another SMG that you guys could also use, which I'm going to be talking about when we do go on to the next few levels. But up on the screen right now is going to be my MAC-10 build. Now, like I mentioned, this is just one of them. I have 2 others, which I might make videos on soon. But if you guys do want a really good mid to short range MAC-10 build, this is the one to use, since the vehicle control for this weapon is pretty easy as long as you pull it down. But now that we're done talking about the amazing MAC-10, let's go on with number 2. Now up on number 2, we do have the M13. Now the M13 surprisingly has not received any nerfs or buffs in a while now, and I absolutely love that. I think that this weapon is pretty balanced, but the hype and the amount of people that use it isn't really as high compared to the other weapons such as the Kilo, the CBR, the MAC-10, and more. Now, with this build that I'm going to be showing you guys up on the screen right now, it is very good for mobility and overall short to mid range battles, but when it comes to long range, it might be a bit hard to use, mainly because the BSA isn't going to be as good compared to how you build it out in a different way, so keep that in mind. But I absolutely love this, especially since it's a fast fire rate weapon, which basically allows you to go up against close range weapons like the MAC-10 and sometimes win it depending on how many shots you hit. And last but not least, you guys were expecting this, it is the CBR at the #1 spot. Now, I'm as surprised as you guys. I'm surprised that the CBR did not get a nerf, nor did it get a buff, which I'm glad, because I would have been way over the top. But I do kind of feel like that Combo might nerf this sometime in the future. But as of right now, you guys can feel free to abuse it. It is probably one of the best guns. It is very versatile when it comes to all 3 ranges. It doesn't matter if it's long, mid, or short range. It can act as an SMG, and it can also act as an AR if you do add the OWC marksman to it. But I don't know what build I'm going to be showing you guys, but when I do edit this up on the screen right now, this is the build that I currently use in all tournaments or scrims. I absolutely love this build, whatever build it is. You guys can switch out the OWC marksman for the MIP extended light barrel, or you guys could even switch out the MIP extended light barrel for the OWC marksman, depending on how you like playing with the weapon. You know, based on if you guys are aggressive, if you guys are passive, if you guys just like lane holding. It is your personal preference. But without further ado, if you guys did enjoy this video on my top 5 weapons of season 5, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, make sure to drop that sub, and I'll see you guys in the next one.